TikTok Shop is booming lately. So how do you know if a product is a good fit for that platform, right? So what key things should seller look at? Where do you see AI shaping the future for selling on Amazon?
Creates profit, so you can change somebody's entire lifestyle with it. Entrepreneurs make the mistake of shooting for perfection as opposed to progress.
What common mistakes do sellers make when analyzing competitors and how they can avoid them?
Helium 10 just launched a tool that's called Search Query Analyzer.
Hello and welcome to today's special episode. I'm really excited because we have a very special guest with us, 𝐲𝐶, an incredible e-commerce educator and one of the standout presenter at Helium 10. So she's been a game changer so many years, so myself included, and we have all learned so much from her insights into Amazon selling and e-commerce strategies. So 𝐲𝐶, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited for all the content we'll get into today.
Okay, so I have personally learned from a ton from your sessions and videos and tutorials. Your way of breaking down complex topics and making them easy to understand, it's just fantastic.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that. That's why we do what we do.
Okay, so now, 𝐲𝐶, I have got few questions for you, and I know our audience will be eager to hear your insights. So first up, with your wealth of experience in e-commerce world, so what would you say is the most common mistake you see sellers make when starting out on Amazon?
I think this isn't just limited to Amazon. In general, entrepreneurs make the mistake of shooting for perfection as opposed to progress. We're very quick to get focused on all the little factors that comprise the bigger picture. Whereas really, if you just put it out there, there's this quote somewhere out there that says, if it's perfect, you've started too late. And I think that holds very well true in the Amazon space or the TikTok space or whichever platform it is that you are really on. You want to constantly keep moving and kind of adapt based off the feedback you're receiving, based off the setbacks that pop up, because they will, regardless of if you try to not have any mistakes at all, do it all right. That was me the very first time I launched a brand back in 2020. I think it was 2020, yeah. And even if I tried to play all the cards right, you still always have something. So it's better not to fixate on certain metrics or like certain factors, but really do your best, focus on the holistic picture and keep it moving. And that is really how you continue forward.
Right. That's super amazing and valuable perspective. Okay, so moving to the next question. As a lot of sellers are starting to see the impact of the new updates on Amazon's algorithm. So what advice would you give to seller on adapting on these changes and staying ahead of the competition?
I think you should try to leverage what is given to you. So regardless of if let's say you are brand registered and you have access to search query performance as an Amazon seller, tap into that and make use of it, because those are the things that can really help you take a look at your actual conversion rates, how you're stacking up with the market. And then based off those things, you can adjust your ad strategy to save yourself a little bit of money and add more profit. That is the goal, right? Profit. And so let's say you're taking a look at search query performance. If you guys didn't know, Helium 10 just launched a tool that's called Search Query Analyzer. And if you're brand registered, you have your token connected. If you don't have your token connected, go do that. And then you can go into this tool and put in 𝐸𝐴𝐶𝐻 and take a look at the performance, not just from a single week's perspective. You can go in and pull several weeks of data together or several months of data together, and then take a look at things like how your impressions stack up next to the denormalized search. So if you didn't know, search query performance is based on denormalized search, meaning let's say that Umar and I, we went on Amazon and we clicked into something that we typed in, let's say Coffin Shelf, which is your Project X product at Helium 10. And we went to page 2 and then we went back to page 1. Those are all searches. Whereas any other time you're looking inside of Cerebro, you're going to have a regular search volume, what people are really going to, and that's going to count as one search. Whereas again, if you go back to a different page, you went to Etsy and then you came back, that's going to be a new search. And so what really ends up happening as you begin to look at these metrics and you compare them, now you're seeing, hey, actually my impressions are higher than the denormalized search. Meaning what? Meaning my product is now showing up for organic placement and for sponsored. And if I know that my conversion rate is higher than the market's conversion rate, which you can see inside of Search Query Analyzer, then what ends up happening is now you know you can actually boost your ad spend on this to make sure you're really leveraging the conversion rate you have because you're already doing better than the market. And then of course, the converse of that is if your conversion rate is lower than the market, then that means you want to go back in and check out what's going on with your listing. Maybe that this is where you figure out how you want to optimize your images, how you want to change up your title or your bullet points, or which keywords are your competitors utilizing that maybe you're not using.
Great. Got it. What is your perspective? Okay, so one more question for Black Box. So, competitor research, what common mistakes do sellers make when analyzing competitors and how they can avoid them, especially for the black box while using the black box?
I think this is so relative to who I'm speaking with, right? Based on where you are in your journey. Maybe you're just getting started as an Amazon seller, and the thing that you're doing compared to your competitors is maybe you're not taking a look at the review counts. Maybe you're not caring enough about the differentiation. You're saying, hey, actually, this knee pillow is, and I did this. This was my very first product I ever launched way back when, and that was a knee pillow. And at the time, there was only one other competitor who was selling earplugs as a bonus. And I said, oh, it's working for them. This will be my differentiation factor because there's not that many competitors out on the market that are doing this. And really, that differentiation was not enough because at the end of the day, you want your differentiation to withstand the test of time, right? Again, this is during product research that we're talking about. And so you might go in, you look at your competitors, you say, hey, this is making money for them. This is enough if I duplicate this. And really, with the Amazon landscape changing, what you just asked me about how there's changes in the algorithm, and maybe for a while there was Chinese sellers flooding the market before all the tariff situation happened, and you have the de minimis exemption loophole at the time. So what you can really end up doing is saying it's working for them, it's going to work for me. And really, you have to go deeper than that. You got to differentiate. I always like to overestimate my ROI since I learned that lesson way back when. And so that is maybe one of the common mistakes that product research folks can make. But if you are, let's say, already up and listed, then you might be doing some other things like under leveraging things like search query performance, or maybe going in and not using rules and automations inside of Helium 10 ads because you're going to be doing all those manually. Bradley manages 200 campaigns, more than 200 campaigns every single week. That is a lot of time if you're doing it manually and you're trying to figure out, well, which keywords do I need to negative target, right? You can do all those things by setting up rules and automations. You can literally go in and say, I want to find all the key phrases that have above 50% ACoS, less than 60% ACoS, and then this is what I want to do. And set up if-then rules that will free up your time so you can focus on the things that really matter and move your needle forward.
Great. Got it. Got your point. So, based on this thing, would you say new sellers should focus more on top competitors or smaller niche brands?
I always suggest taking a three-pronged approach, which is if we're looking at keywords. Are you asking about keywords or are you asking about products? Keywords, right?
Keywords.
Yeah, I would take a three-pronged approach. So take some that your top competitors are actually generating sales from, so long as they are relevant and they have great search volume, or maybe they're going to hike in search volume. So sometimes you have people who do seasonal products, Christmas, it's not here yet, but in time it will peak, right? So if you're catching it before the wave. So you have the ones that are top keywords. Then we have opportunity keywords. So keywords that maybe not all your competitors are using. Say you have 6 or 7 or 10 competitors you're looking at. Well, maybe only 2 of those are ranking for some key phrases. So those are going to be your opportunity keywords. Where not everybody's ranking for it, but if you go on there, you probably would generate sales because it's still relevant to your actual product. Then you have your frequently bought together, like supplementary key phrases. Okay, so I said frequently about together because that is one example of supplementary keywords. Keywords that are not directly related, but they are tangent because they have parallel audiences. And if I'm selling a coffin shelf, I know that folks that want to decorate their house with bat shelves all year long are going to be interested in something like this too, because they like the spooky decor theme, correct? And so you want to kind of take the mixed approach where, hey, you know what? These 5 phrases, they're really great for my competitors. I'm going to incorporate these into my listing. Plus, maybe have a few of those opportunity keywords or key phrases being targeted through root keywords. And then you still have your related stuff. So, hey, if you're interested in XYZ, you're also going to be interested in this. And that way, Amazon's algorithm can begin making that correlation way ahead of time before they're trying to just branch out and find, hey, what are these audiences going to be interested in? Or what is this product really relevant to? You can begin making the association from the get-go.
Okay, very explained answer. I think you have covered my next question. So I would like to skip this. And so let's talk about the PPC and inventory questions. So Bradley once mentioned in his video that not lowering bids just to slow down the sales. So when should seller actually adjust bids based on inventory levels?
I think here, Bradley, Carrie, and I will probably all give you different answers because I think it is kind of your decision, right? You are the only person that has access to your metrics and your data. I know for me, I've been in very unique and thankfully lucky positions. I wouldn't call it luck, but I've been lucky enough to be in a place where my inventory sold out way too fast. And so I did have to lower my bids. And I even asked Bradley at the time, I was like, you think I should pause my bids entirely? And he's like, no, don't ever do that. And that was when I was first getting into this space. So since then, if that ever happens, I just lower the bids when there's maybe about 30 days of coverage left. But again, it's really relevant to, it's more so related to how much your inventory is really moving, right? And what your next lead time is, because what Amazon cares about most is your momentum and making sure you don't run out of stock. And so if you can maintain that traffic and the stock up until it's replenished, that is great. I would just maintain the budget, just reduce the bids. That's my take. Again, Bradley might give you a different take.
Right.
Day parting, I guess, is also another option for those of you that know you sell better during certain times, or even just say going into search query performance and finding those phrases where you do have really great conversion rates above the market average, and just focusing on a more confined list of, okay, these are the ones that generate sales. And that way you can get very hyper focused on how much ad spend you are really putting out versus what you're getting back, and then just kind of track how many days of coverage you have left.
Great. Okay, so for end sellers with limited stock, how can they use this feature to prevent stockouts without hurting their keyword ranking long term?
Day parting. I think day parting, or just going back and refining your campaign budgets to make sure that you're not overspending when you can't actually upkeep your traffic. That is probably going to be one of the best strategies you can really leverage, is focus on the converting keywords. Make sure you're doing it at times that will help you uphold your ranking and avoid overexposure for stockouts.
Right. That balance is tricky. So do you recommend using rules or alerts to automate that protection?
Yeah, 100%. I think rules and automations are one of my favorite things about Helium 10 ads. And so if you don't know how to use them, guys, all of our tools have little learn buttons at the very top. So if you click into those, you'll get access to 2 to 5 minute videos where it'll probably be either Bradley, Carrie, me, or Lem. Way back when he shot some of the videos for some of our older things. And so you'll probably have some videos of us kind of chatting through how to use the tool best.
Great. Thank you so much. So while using brand analytics, what is the biggest mistakes normally users or seller make when interpreting that data, especially when it leads them to chase bad opportunities?
Yeah, I think this goes back to what we were chatting about earlier, which is making sure you're not just opting for the highest search volume, but looking really at the conversion and how you're stacking up with the market. And if you're inside of search query performance data on Seller Central, then you might have to download the reports and then kind of compare on a spreadsheet, figure that out. Whereas inside of Helium 10, if you're using Search Query Analyzer, it just blends the data for you. So you'll have your Helium 10 data stacked up with the search query performance data, plus we'll do the calculations. So you can just go in and take a look directly at your conversion rates versus the market conversion rates, your impression share versus the search volume, and then use that in conjunction, as opposed to just being like, hey, this search volume is all of a sudden shooting up in search volume. It has 100,000 all of a sudden. I'm going to go for this. Well, that keyword might not actually be relevant to your product. So why would you go after something that's not entirely related, or maybe has too much competition? You can opt for the things where you actually would be able to compete. So if I, let's say, have $150 product and now I'm trying to compete with $20 products, well, that's not really going to give me the greatest return on my money, is it? So just kind of taking all these components and, again, keeping sight of the bigger picture.
Great. So is that about misunderstanding click share versus conversion share, right? Or maybe over prioritizing high volume terms?
Yeah, so click share versus conversion share. I love that we have filters for this inside of the Helium 10 tools. And this is why, right? Let's take an example. Walk through an example together just to kind of talk through it. Say you have a product like a white marble coffee coaster cup, and that product has a 60% click share. Amazing, right? Pretty good, decent for the page. Now, when you're looking at the conversion share of that, maybe you only have 10% conversion share. So there's some sort of gap there, correct? Because people are looking for that product. There's something about that main image or the title that's convincing them into the click, but it's not really causing the purchase. And so now you have to go back in and tweak and figure out, how can I boost that conversion share? Most of the time, it's a listing issue. And so you want to go in and refine that component. Whereas if you have a really poor click share, maybe way lower than you want it to be, 10%, whatever, your competitors are beating you on that, and the other folks have the top 3 clicked, then you might want to go in and figure out, well, what can I do about my main image and my title to actually get people to click into this listing? And then maybe you have a great conversion share. So your biggest issue might be just getting people onto your listing. And so you can use things like click share and conversion share to figure out where the issue might be and how you can boost either the traffic or the conversions to get you the sales that you desire.
Super helpful. And any quick filter you personally use that cut through the noise?
No, it depends on the day and what's going on in the business. And I think that's the biggest thing, right? You have to be able to adapt, because not all issues are the same. Not every day is the same. Maybe you have something come up with your inventory, like it sells out too fast. And I hope that is an issue you guys have that you can navigate, right? Because that means your business is good, business is booming. But yeah, it just depends.
Good. So is there any underused metric or filter in brand analytics that you think sellers are totally overlooking in your experience?
I would just keep a pulse on the top 3 clicked products for the phrases that you're interested in, and pay attention to the click share and conversion share. What are they doing correct? So if you are not one of the top 3 clicked, take a look at the ones that are and figure out what the discrepancy is between your products and their products and how they're marketing it. Because sometimes it really is just the marketing component. I know that there have been products that I've looked at, niches I've looked at rather, that you have a pretty similar setup from a conversion and click share perspective for a couple of competitor products. And yet, because I'm on social media, I've maybe seen that they're doing a push on TikTok Shop. And so I know that they're sending over traffic because it's going viral on a different platform. So sometimes it is out of the Amazon's right, back end. You can kind of look and figure it out that way. But again, it begs the question of you're in the right mindset and what can I really do to emulate the success, but still make sure that it's your own product and your own marketing.
Okay, got it. So you just talk about the TikTok shop. I was just shifting to that. TikTok shop is booming lately, so how do you know if a product is a good fit for that platform, right? So what key things should seller look at?
I actually wonder if I can share my screen, because I think it might be worth doing for those of you that are watching. Let's see. Hopefully you can see this. So what's really cool is Helium 10's been expanding into TikTok shop as well, because we realize that a lot of folks are interested in expanding. As an Amazon seller, you already know that, hey, this is product research. This is how you get the products. This is how you market the products. You have the skill set. It's just about using those tools that you have in your arsenal, your skill sets in your arsenal, to actually expand out and widen your profits. And so we wanted to make sure you were able to do that with ease. And so we have come out with quite a few TikTok shop tools, if you didn't know. So say you are on your listing page, what you can do is you can go into profitability calculator as usual if you were trying to estimate this for FBA. But now you have this little toggle right here that says TikTok shop. And so when you click into this, now all of a sudden, maybe I think I want to sell this for $33. Maybe instead of $6, obviously go in and input whatever the stuff is for you. But here you have the option for your affiliate commission rate. So maybe you're giving a really hefty commission rate for your partners that you're collaborating with on TikTok shop. When you're taking a look at the affiliate commission, say that you were on the lower end of the rates, right? Maybe you're going for the 15% or the 18% or something like that. Then you would be able to put that in right here and then guesstimate what your profit is. Of course, when it comes to fulfillment, that is a tricky thing as well, to make sure that you are guesstimating all of the numbers correctly. And so you can really play around and say, hey, I actually want to have my products fulfilled by TikTok shop. So you can do FBT, you can do MCF, which is really where I love that this is an option, because as an Amazon seller, now you can use your Amazon's inventory that's at the warehouses, let them fulfill it still, but just estimate for it inside profitability calculator, because you can go in and then individually put in the orders from your backend on Seller Central. You can also self-ship. So if you have a bunch of products in a warehouse close to you, or a 3PL, or maybe you have some in your garage like I do, then you can go in and input that in as well to figure out what your profits might be. Now, this is just the beginning. This is scratching the surface of TikTok shop. For our Amazon sellers, let's say you go in and you realize that through profitability calculator, you are going to be able to be profitable. Then your next step is really going to be to make sure that you are transitioning over, right? So you can go into Helium 10. And then, as you can see, all of our tools that are compliant with TikTok shop have this little available for TikTok sign. So literally just go into tools, take a look for the TikTok. For example, you have Influencer Finder, which is available for Amazon and for TikTok. So if you want to start working with influencers, that can be a great marketing push for you guys.
Yeah,
you have
the
inventory. It's what? Yeah, a new option. Yeah, very exciting option. And then you have inventory management to make sure you're leveraging your inventory but not overextending yourself, as well as profits and listing converter. Listing converter I love, because you can just go into it and quickly say, hey, this is the shop I want to migrate to, input in any sort of product compliance stuff, and then it'll let you just set it up if you follow along with the instructions that are given to you right here. So it's this next step and you just follow through. But yeah, it'll quickly let you build drafts. It'll pull from your Amazon listings, put them into TikTok shop. You can go in and edit them out. Click send over. Make sure you have your token connected. That's going to be in the top right corner. Go down to connections. And when you do connections, you're going to be able to just, again, follow the prompts that are given to you on screen to connect to your TikTok shop account, which will let both interfaces communicate and let you do things like migrate over your listings with a couple clicks, plus see your profits data, make sure your inventory is in good shape. So a lot of things to do with TikTok shop that make life easier, so you're not trying to do a whole third business, right, off of Amazon. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Okay, so what are some of the biggest mistakes sellers make when expanding from Amazon to TikTok Shop?
I think assuming that the exact same listing will work on TikTok Shop, because TikTok Shop is a very different platform with a different intent than Amazon. For Amazon, most of us use it as a search engine, kind of like Google, but for products. We want to buy something, we immediately go and we say, hey, I already know I want to buy this. I just want to like find the product and click and purchase. Whereas TikTok Shop, people are really there to doom scroll and entertain themselves, and you have to kind of cater to that, right? Use the influencers, make sure that there's people talking about your products, you capitalize on that hype, and you go over and you migrate that information. You might want to change out your listing so that the first image isn't just on a white background. You might want to have somebody using the product, so that way it's a little bit more built for people who are on TikTok as opposed to just the Amazon's terms of service.
Great. Okay. So based on what you said, I feel that our expectations different for TikTok customers, may be more impulsive driven.
For TikTok, yeah, it's scroll first, right, compared to search first. And so you want to optimize for that when you are even doing your marketing videos. And this is good practice in general, but your first 2 or 3 seconds should be your hook, and test that hook as many ways as you can. Figure out what's going to capture somebody's attention, what's going to make them stay. So you need to be testing and focus a little bit more on the hook, and making sure that if they are scrolling, and I guess this applies to Amazon too, right? Like you're trying to stop the scroll from all the products, but this time it's going to be from a lifestyle perspective of how is somebody using the product, how is somebody talking about the product.
Right. So what trends or features should seller be preparing for the next?
I think right now, just really tapping into what's available. Plus, I think AI has been all the rage, and so we'll most likely, and this is not just at Helium 10, but across the board, be seeing a lot more implementation of that for listing optimization, for detecting products that are peaking for search volume or PPC adjustments. In every aspect of your business, I think there will come a time where AI has a touch in it. Granted, I don't think AI can fully take away from what entrepreneurs do, and that is really anticipating the customer's needs and choices, and making those executive decisions based off all the information you're seeing.
Right. So AI. So have you seen any seller using AI or you in a way to that backfires, like or automating listings or PPC?
Yes. So when you are translating, say for a different marketplace, you are an American seller or you sell on the American marketplace, you have listings in English and all of a sudden you want to translate them to German. Yes, ChatGPT can make that easier for you. A platform can make that easier for you, but a native speaker would probably be able to see through that, as you would still want to go in and at least consult with somebody who speaks the language, because AI cannot fully replicate that accurately just yet. Then again, we've made significant strides. I believe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, if you inputted in a picture, I remember trying to create product images using AI back then when it was just kind of coming into the picture, and I'd have like 10 fingers on one hand. It was insane. Like it wouldn't give you clear photos. But now if you go back in and you do that, we've made enough strides to the point where you can have a normal hand. Not every time, but some of the time. And so I think in another 2 years' time, you'll see even more improvements where you can go in and do different things. But again, I would still consult with a person who is in that marketplace that would be able to ensure you are providing accurate information.
Got it. So if you could add just one feature to Helium 10 to better understand customer behavior, what would it be?
Well, considering the fact that Search Query Analyzer was something that was one of our most asked for features and plus wished for features, and now it's actually here, plus I really wanted to see us branch out into TikTok Shop, and that's here too. I'm sure it's only a matter of time, but I would love to see some more customer journey tools. And I think we are kind of taking a look at that now, is figuring out how shoppers are really moving from search to consideration. I think that is quite visible in our expansion to TikTok, because that is where people kind of start, right? It's not really somewhere people go to shop, but they end up purchasing because they've been persuaded. So you can really drive them through a funnel.
Okay, so where do you see AI shaping the future for selling on Amazon, and what Helium 10 is working on in that space?
AI in general is available for a number of things inside of Helium 10. We already have it inside of Cerebro. You can go in and say, can you please remove all these brands or branded names? And it'll do that for you, or show me all the ones that have author names, say if you're a KDP author. And so you can go in and refine using AI. You also have AI inside of Listing Builder, where you can create images. You can use AI to generate bullets, titles. Amazon posts before it was sunset. You could have used it to create all these captions and starting places. Not all of us are writers. Some of us have writer's block. And so that would help you, because we have it inside of Listing Builder. You have AI advertising inside of Helium 10 ads. And so I think there's already, an interwoven picture at Helium 10 for AI. I think it's over time just going to become more precise, really.
Got it. So, what is the most impressive turnaround you have seen from struggling Amazon store as a seller?
You mean inside of Amazon? Specifically?
Inside of Amazon.
I think the availability of data, just the more that has been released. I mean, we have access to information that back in 2012 people would have dreamed of. In 2012 you could just put up a listing and all of a sudden you could rank for it. But now there's a lot more involved, which naturally requires more data. And I think we've been given that. We work with Amazon to even pull the information for search query performance for our analyzer tool. And I think that's only going to continue to improve and grow.
Great. So, what is your favorite part about being a brand evangelist at Helium 10? My favorite question.
I think meeting people, honestly, because you learn a lot from other people and their stories, and everybody always has something different going on in this space. I couldn't tell you the number of conversations I've had where I've walked away learning something, or somebody has a concern or a question or an idea that they want to see implemented, and we can kind of take it back to product and say, there's people who need this, and we can actually make an impact there because we can create those tools for them, or we can actually answer questions for them, or provide them with a solution, really offer something that matters and will serve them at the end of the day for their business and their livelihood, right? Long term, because creates profit, so you can change somebody's entire lifestyle with it.
Okay. So you are a brand evangelist at Helium 10 and Amazon seller, and you have your own company. How do you manage all of this?
No sleep, team. No sleep. Honestly, I think when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I'm very lucky in the sense that I do love what I do. I get to meet amazing people through it. I've learned a lot about mindset and mentality and navigating issues. And I think those things are a very core foundation for living life in general. But they remind you that, you know what? I might work all the time, but I love what I do. And at the same time, this is the same exact thing that provides freedom as well. So if I want to take a step back and I don't want to do things, I can have a really great week of a lot of work at some point, and then just take a step back and also have a week off. And I think that balance is really what draws me to entrepreneurship. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Today's last question is, if you could give just one piece of advice to Amazon sellers in 2025, what would it be?
If you're just getting into the space, overestimate your ROIs and really focus on differentiation. Don't ignore the surface level metrics like review count and your profits, all the simple things that you believe will impact your journey as a seller. Consider them, but don't get stuck on them. And if you are already up and listed, then consider expanding onto other platforms as well. Not because I think Amazon is dying out or anything like that, but because I think you already have the skills in your arsenal to make it happen. So why would you not leverage them? Make sure you go in and you take a look at our TikTok shop tools. Again, connect your token and see if it's actually profitable for you. And if it is, then maybe you can use MCF for a while just to get accustomed to the space. And if anything, it'll actually boost your Amazon's numbers. I couldn't tell you how many sellers I've spoken to that started doing targeted collaborations on TikTok Shop, which is basically you go in and you choose your influencers and you send out a product to them, or maybe they go in and purchase and you give them a commission for marketing the product. But that somehow went viral and it contributed to their Amazon sales as well as their TikTok Shop sales. So if you want to grow, optimize, sure, Amazon's platform, use tools like Search Query Performance. We have something called Budget Manager as well at Helium 10 Ads that just rolled out to Elite. I believe it might be available to Diamond. So if you're not on Diamond, then maybe you want to upgrade if this is something interesting to you. But you can literally go in and adjust your budget. So say I know that Prime Week is coming up. This year it's 4 days long, guys, if you didn't know. And it's in July, 8th to the 11th. And so say you want to go in and you want to set up everything now. You can go in for Budget Manager and for that specific week, say I want to use X amount of budget. And on these specific days, I want to use over 100% of what my daily budget would be. So you can literally plan a calendar of what your spend is, where you want to spend it, all this stuff way ahead of time. So really, if you're optimizing, then going in, making sure you're really getting everything out of your Helium 10 subscription, because we have tools to help you on that journey to make your life easier. We're not here to sell you stuff you don't need, but legitimately, if you have a plan, the whole goal for us is to make your life easier as a seller. So make sure you go and you use that and you expand out if it makes sense for you.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
it.
So Shivali, thank you so much for your time, and this was very truthful insights, and it did not just teach me new things, it really helped clear up a lot of theories and concepts I had in my mind as well as my audience. So honestly, I wish I could book another session with you, and there is still so much more I would love to explore with you and your thoughts. So I hope we get to do this again. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm sure we will. And hopefully those of you watching learn something too. Cheers.